We thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. I'm Natalie Pasquarello.
And I'm David Usry. Tina is the latest Broadway show forced to cancel performances because of COVID cases. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child also canceled today's matinee, but tonight's performance is still a go, at least for now. Also today, New York City outlined its vaccine mandate for private sector businesses that goes into effect in less than 2 weeks. So on December 27th, workers have to show proof of one vaccine dose. Then they have 45 days to get the second. News 4's Andrew Siff live in Times Square to give us an update on what happened today. Andrew.
Right, David. We'll have more on the mayor's mandate as they spelled out the rules today in just a moment. But you talked about Broadway, Harry Potter, the show behind me. They had to cancel the matinee today, although we have learned that the evening performance will go on. And Broadway producers emphasizing that the vast majority of the 34 shows are up and running. But those that have had to cancel performances, it's because of breakthrough COVID. The Worden family had planned for months to see Harry Potter and the Cursed Child.
October 24th, so that's when we gave her the tickets. So we've been waiting for a long time.
But on this matinee Wednesday, canceled due to COVID. And not only Harry Potter, Mrs. Doubtfire and a handful of other shows also down for the day after cast members tested positive.
The breakthrough cases are certainly concerning at this point.
Charlotte St. Martin of the Broadway League, representing 34 productions, said the protocols are necessary and occasional disappointment is part of the deal.
It's heartbreaking when someone's got their heart set on seeing a show and they fly in and it's not available, but certainly they will have their money refunded and hopefully be able to see something else.
Meanwhile, just 12 days from now, the debut of an even bigger production.
This is the boldest action in the nation.
Mayor de Blasio's vaccine mandate for all private employees. Starting December 27th, no one goes to an office without getting the vaccine. Employers must keep records, and employers must require the second shot within 45 days. That's tens of thousands of employers who even need to post and submit a certificate to the city attesting that they're following these rules.
If we find a problem, we simply ask the business to address it, to fix it, and they do, overwhelmingly.
Left unaddressed for now is what companies are supposed to do with employees who refuse, and who gets to decide whether exceptions are allowed.
Everyone is doing their best to try to stay safe.
Back on Broadway, theaters today following the new rule now in effect. Even kids 5 to 11 must show proof of vaccination to go to the show.
It was one of the things that we said, get your vaccination, we can go see Hamilton.
The Broadway League saying that the COVID closures are working as intended. It's usually an actor or two that tests positive. They shut down the performance until they get clearances, all negative tests, or substitute an understudy. For now, the vast majority of shows are on. We're live in Times Square. Andrew Siff, News 4 New York.
All right, Andrew, thanks for that update. We just found out here within the last 30 minutes, Fordham University said it's going to require all students to get booster shots for their spring semester. Now, this comes as NYU and Cornell said today that they're moving finals online because of the surge in COVID cases. Princeton also telling students to leave campus sooner rather than later. Let's get out to News 4's Brian Thompson live with what students need to know. Hi, Brian.
Yeah, and here at Princeton, they will join in requiring the booster. They'll join Fordham and other schools to return come January. In fact, for so many of these schools now, it appears that requiring that booster to return in January is going to be the one common thread. Princeton scrambling right in the middle of finals, in part worried about students from other parts of the country being stuck on campus if testing positive right before the break, forced into quarantine, and unable to fly home.
That would be horrible if someone had to isolate and not be able to go home for the holidays.
In a series of tweets, the school announced all exams to go remote starting Thursday. A second tweet urging undergrads using public transportation to leave ASAP. Students here admitting they've let down their guard.
That I've been vaccinated and everything, I have been a little bit more open to different things.
A little bit more social?
Yes.
Joining Princeton and Cornell in going virtual, NYU, which just switched to only virtual exams, recommending grab-and-go dining and canceling athletic events. And NYU, along with Wesleyan and Syracuse, now requiring mandatory booster shots to come back to campus in January. But while pushing boosters today in Newark, Governor Murphy not ready to urge boosters for Rutgers and other state schools.
Too early to tell, but right now I just want to reiterate the message. If you're eligible, get boosted.
All students here had to be vaccinated to attend school this fall. At least some are fine, with Princeton joining NYU and others in requiring the booster over the holiday break.
I feel like having the booster wouldn't be that out of place to be asking.
And so now add Fordham, now add Princeton to requiring the booster to come back in January. Yes. Other schools, as you heard, Rutgers, not there yet. A lot of moving parts for so many universities through all this, depending on how many cases they've had, how fast it's spreading, how severe it is. These are tough decisions for the schools, and the decision-making has just begun. Live in Princeton, Brian Thompson, News 4 New York.
Evolving situation, Brian. It's also affecting professional sports. The Brooklyn Nets at a critical point with COVID right now. 7 players are benched as the entire NBA deals with an outbreak. This is also happening in the NFL. 2 Giants players tested positive today. So let's check in with News 4's John Chandler to see where things stand. John?
Well, David, pro sports leagues are racing right now to get a handle on a spiraling situation. The NFL has said at least 94% of its players are vaccinated. In the NBA and the NHL, that number far higher. They are still seeing breakthrough cases, and a large number of them, worth noting, are asymptomatic. But it is clear that outbreaks are starting to disrupt their seasons.
The Nets shorthanded. Get it done. The Nets won in dramatic fashion Tuesday night, but it almost didn't happen. Down to just 8 players. They were one more away from a postponed game. All-star James Harden among the 7 Brooklyn Nets now in COVID protocols.
Well, we're not naive enough to not have concerns about more people contracting the virus. But, that's out of our hands. We just have to see what the test results are. A feeling shared around the NFL where positive cases keep multiplying. In Cleveland, that includes star quarterback Baker Mayfield and head coach Kevin Stefanski, on top of 8 Browns placed on COVID reserve Tuesday. And the Giants now have 3 COVID positive players, too.
We've had a couple things pop up internally ourselves today. All the players are in masks. They're all spaced out. We're making sure that everybody's completely aired out. We're in the bubble behind you where there's more air.
In addition to those precautions, head coach Joe Judge says the Giants will consider moving meetings inside, at least partially, a step the Jets have already taken.
It's not an ideal situation, but it adds to the amount of caution that we all need to take with hygiene, washing our hands, being masked up and all that stuff. So I think you're seeing a lot of the teams starting to go virtual here.
In the NHL, 17 players were placed in protocols on Tuesday, including the Islanders' Matt Barzal, as the league weighs what to do next, including postponing games. Islanders head coach Barry Trotz offers this message.
It's part of life right now. That's probably the best way. It's part of our day in, day out life right now. And so whatever happens, we'll deal with it and move on.
And the Islanders facing Boston on Thursday. Several Bruins players now in COVID protocols. Almost the entire Calgary Flames roster is too. And their Saturday game has been postponed. And right now the NHL starting to inform teams that there will be enhanced protocols put in place at least into the new year, if not longer. That's going to include more testing. And that's something I think, David and Natalie, we're going to have to see a lot of, is more testing in the NFL. The Players Association thinks getting away from daily testing is part of the cause of this, because they could have prevented some spread had the daily testing been in place.
Yeah, we'll definitely probably see more. All right. Thanks very much, John. We do want to talk about Dr. Fauci, because he says an additional vaccine to target the Omicron variant won't be necessary. There's been some talk about this. Now, the White House chief medical advisor says the booster shots available right now will work against the variant and do not need to be adjusted. Research shows that 2 doses of Pfizer or Moderna were 70% effective at preventing hospitalization in Omicron patients in South Africa. Now, Dr. Fauci said a booster dose increases protection against symptomatic disease to 75%. Well, 1 year ago today, the first New Jersey resident rolled up their sleeve to get the COVID vaccine. Now, a year later, Governor Murphy has declared today Boost NJ Day. He wants to encourage New Jerseyans to roll up their sleeves again for the booster. Now there are 1,900 places across the state to get a booster shot, including pharmacies, supermarkets, community centers, and hospitals. Governor Murphy says the booster shouldn't be considered a bonus, but a necessity.
For the past year, New Jerseyans by the millions have stepped forward to do the right things, the right thing for themselves, for their kids, their families, and their friends. This is how we're getting through this, all of us pulling together.
84% of the more than 8.4 million New Jerseyans eligible for the vaccine have received at least their first dose.